good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope everybody found some time to get some rest this weekend. I hope some people got to do some self-care, even if it was just a minute. But we'll talk about that later. How is everybody this morning? I am sorry I was a little bit late. I put the coffee pot on, walked away, and when I came back, it had done absolutely nothing. So I'm not sure what the problem was. But I can't do this without a cup of coffee. Good morning. Good morning. So this is today's lineup. I can 100% predict we are going to go over 9:30 today. I'm almost sure of it because I have some raising the consciousness that I really want to get out today. Because I want us as a collective to take her down. And that's Miss Wells. But I'm going to wait until there are more people here, to do that because, like I said, I want the collective involved. We're going to talk about Carla C today. She's the new one wrapping herself in the blanket of God while doing some crazy things. Kat, TNA, as usual. Christina, Carrie, Zimonique. Jay Paul is back with another crazy story. Beth, simply because of her ask. That's why she's here. Simply because of her ask. And Timothy Nash. Because, again, his story. Let me give you this piece of advice. This isn't even just about social media. If you come across a person who has drama every day, no matter what, like there's always an extreme story, walk away. There are people who do not feel like they're living life unless there is drama. And they'll do anything and say anything to create it just so that they can come back and be like, oh my God, look at what happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's mostly women, but there are some men like that too. Walk away. Save yourself. Protect your peace. Protect your peace. Because not everybody is in it for the right reasons. And I don't care if you've been friends with them since elementary school. Protect your peace. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so who are we going to start with? Let's start with the people who are going to be quick. So, let's see. Let's go with them. Now, we all know she's a mother. She's pregnant with number 6. Her baby daddy is allegedly, let me say that very clear, allegedly her stepbrother. Now, I have gotten accustomed. I used to believe like what they would say because they said it. And I have grown accustomed to people on here saying things to go viral, to get attention. So I saw a photo of her dad. Yes, please. I'm sorry. Thank you, Erica. Let me pause for a second. Please, if you are a member of the team, hit the daily heart me. If you are not a member, stick around. If you like what you hear and see, join the team. And my only other request is that every time I change the photo, you like the live. And you guys know the 2 reasons is to make sure we don't get taken down and to end up on the FYP. So please and thank you. Okay, back to them. Apparently, the rumor is that she is stepbrothers with her baby daddy by the father. However, I have seen photos of the father, and Zim looks, she could literally be his twin. They look so much alike. And the baby daddy doesn't favor them. So that doesn't mean that it's still not true. It could be on the mother's side. It could be that the other mother just had stronger genes. But I have a white socks. I opened the door for him to go outside. Why is he not outside? Anyway, I don't know that that's an accurate story. But I absolutely see them doing that just to go viral, just to get people to come to their page. So I'm really strong on the allegedly because of it. White socks, everybody said good morning. He's off having fun in the litter box. But you guys know that I have a problem with people who have children that can't afford them. God would like for you to have as many children as you would like, as long as you can take care of them. He said, grow and prosper. But he didn't mean that the children had to live below the poverty line. He didn't mean to people who don't value education. He didn't mean have 6 kids by a man you're not married to. So if you're going to cover yourself in the God blanket, I'm going to need you to accept Genesis to Revelations. And not just pick out the scriptures that make you feel good about your poor decisions in life. Good morning to everybody coming in. Good morning, good morning. So, I told you guys that she was moving. And she would have ridiculous asks. And I never understood. And I realized that this might not sound ridiculous in relations to other asks. But one night, it was late. It was like 9 o'clock. And she was asking for $70 to go to the grocery store to feed her kids. And that she needed meat. And I'm like, $70 to feed the kids tonight? And she was like, oh, we're going to do a cooking with us. And then she was like, well, I don't cook. It's going to be him, but I'm going to be talking. And when she didn't get it, she was like, well, I guess, I'll just have to give the kids the vegetables we have, whatever. Why are you feeding those babies at 9 o'clock at night is my question. And so I'm starting to believe that in her case in particular, she, again, uses the things that we all can understand. Like, who wants to know that 5 babies are hungry? Nobody wants to hear that. So it's an easy way to get money. And I feel like your kitchen closes at 6. Listen. And so I'm starting to believe that some of her asks were overinflated so that she could then be able to move into this humongous house. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely believe she has some sort of voucher, Section 8, something. But the house is huge. And she needs one for all of those babies. Especially because she's already talking about the next one. And she hasn't had this one. But when it was time to move, she didn't need anything. She didn't need help with a U-Haul. Right, Cindy Lou. Correct. So now, what day was it? Let me get it right now. It might have been there. Let me just tell y'all something. It was on and popping after Friday's live. Let me see. There's going to be a lot of paper turning. I believe it was $485. But what set me off with her is that she was literally sitting on her live talking about people battling. And she said that first she said people put their CCPP, payment apps so that they don't have to share their donation with TikTok. Well, we know that. Who are you educating? We all know that's the reason. And there are some people who will not spend money on gifts on TikTok, but will send to payment apps. And then she said that people who battle are just greedy. Ma'am, half of your TikTok career you were battling. And it rolled off her tongue like she's never battled a day in her life. And then she caught herself, well, I used to battle. But I stopped because the battling world was weird to her. Baby girl, that's not why you stopped. That's not why you stopped battling. You stopped battling because the money stopped coming in. You stopped battling because the share amount that TikTok needed or required wasn't enough for you to live on. When you were getting big money, you didn't care about TikTok share because even with their share, you guys were good. When that slowed down, suddenly the environment is weird. And when you were making money like that, you could have cared less about your baby daddy. You would talk so much trash about him back then that it was like, well, why are y'all still together? Thank you, Erica. I don't even have it pulled up yet. Let me do that. So, now he's the best thing since sliced bread? Make it make sense, Zim. But you now want to call people who battle greedy while at the exact same time you are also asking for money? You've been asking for money for several years, but other people are greedy. You want to know what makes you greedy? What makes you greedy is that you've been begging for money for several years on this app and probably others, although I don't have proof of it. And yet you still keep having children you can't afford. So that a dinner that might have cost you $100 to make for your family size of 5 is now going to be a family size of 8, and you're talking about it being 9. But you're not greedy. You're not greedy. You put together a $2,000 Amazon wish list, which you absolutely expect to get, and then sat up here and wanted $485 sent to your payment app. But That's not greedy. And she's going to say it's not greedy because of my family size. But the fact that you keep producing children and then expecting the money you get in gifts from people to accommodate that new family size makes you greedy. It makes you inconsiderate. And you want to keep putting in their minds and hearts that they are your blessing from God. While your man sits in the house and does what? Because that's the other part. Why are women all around this country taking care of Zim and her children while her man sits at home? Mind you, it looked like she had gotten a job. Why are you big pregnant? And he's the one at home with the kids. Could somebody explain that to me? They do, Libra King. They absolutely do. But you're playing in their faces because he doesn't do anything. He's not working. You complain about him. Hold on one second. Can someone pin this for me, please? This is the backup. In case anybody needs to follow it. Because in case we go down here, we are just going to go over there. It'll be a smooth transition. So, why are you big pregnant leaving the house every day to earn money? And I don't even think it's every day. I'm over exaggerating. While he gets to stay at home. When you moved, you're unpacking and talking to the live while he stands in the unfurnished formal living room, formal dining room, whatever it was, and dancing with the kids. And she has normalized that ridiculousness so much that the people who support her don't even bat an eye about it. They're like, oh, look at your family, all happy, blah, blah, blah. When she looks like she could drop at any moment. She's doing 1-minute TikToks to try to get money out of TikTok. Doing dances where look like the baby just gonna fall out on the floor. What is he doing exactly? And then what I love is while he makes no financial contribution, stands behind her and talks trash to people who are questioning their lifestyle. Sir, go sit down. You're one of the kids. Go sit down. You're one of the kids. Because you contribute what? Semen to get her pregnant? That's your contribution to this? They have no work ethic. They are accustomed to gimme, gimme, gimme. And when they see other people make millions and become famous because of social media, they would like to think, why can't that be me? Yeah, they don't want to be adults either. Zim, I need you to gather yourself. I need you to expand your mother skills in terms of demanding the best for your children out of the man who has fathered those children and not the people on TikTok. It does not set a good example for the children. If you want to have that many children, afford that many children. I don't want to hear the excuse that you were drunk that night and that wasn't your intention. Because you found out this is a girl, you guys are both mad about it. I mean, I know they just want a healthy child, don't get me wrong. But you're already talking about another one because you want another boy. Her and Quay are almost running neck to neck. For what? And I do not understand the fascination. Like, I understand, like, oh, I want to help this young lady out. She's single with a bunch of kids. But there is another parent. And if they're not contributing adequately, why aren't you in court making sure that it happens? Libra King, that is the allegation, although the allegation is that the father is the link, and when you see her father, she is his twin, and the baby daddy doesn't look anything like them. So either somebody made it, in my opinion, somebody made it up, or they made it up to go viral. Because there's been a couple of couples that have actually done that, where they're like, we're siblings and we fell in love. And it wasn't true. It was just to go viral. Right, Nick? But this on-demand generation of being able to have everything at their fingertips. You know, when we had to do research, we had to find an encyclopedia. We had to go to the library. They can just ask the nosy girl in the corner and get all of their homework done. You know what I mean? They can go on their phone and say, here's the example. What's the answer? But I need you to stop making TikTok and any other social medias you have responsible for your children. Because if this economy were to tank at any point and people didn't have any money to give you, what would you do? How would you feed your children? And when the economy tanks, the jobs become scarce, and y'all already don't have one. The idea that you would think that, oh, well, if I stop getting help, then I will get a job, is ass backwards. It's ass backwards. Good morning to everybody just coming in. So let's move on, because I don't want to keep us here. Let's talk about Cat. So the other day, let me just say this, and I felt like at the time, oh wait, let me go back. When she first returned and said that she caught her fiance cheating and that they got into it and she cut her. I showed you guys the picture of the blood on the wall, and I'm like, domestic violence is never okay. And she said she gave up her car to help the fiance keep her car. And I was like, a part of me believed it because Kat had been doing so well. But very quickly, my spidey senses went off, and I was like, you don't even look well anymore. Is that the story? And as time has gone on, it's really become clear that she just fell off. She went back to active addiction, and that might be why the girlfriend broke up with her and threw her out. That might be the reason she lost her car. Because she's clearly not working. And in this very high condition, most of them think that what they're doing and saying and acting is normal. That they're making complete sense. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Did Beautiful ask what did they come into? Okay, I can't find it. Beautiful, if you have a question, ask it again. So, in this clearly hot, oh, she said, what is this? Okay, Beautiful, I am an anti-scam content creator. And I am exposing on today 9 scammers on TikTok who take advantage of people's kindness. They do it by begging, scamming, dry begging, manipulating, lying, etc. And so, no, Jimogen, I have never been in addiction, but I was in a relationship with someone who was in active addiction. So no. And I have a lot of people that support what we do and do the same, who have assisted me in understanding some of the things that I didn't personally. Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Questions are always appreciated. Thank you, Ashley. So, in this high as a kite condition, she ends up saying things that reveal the truth. And in one of those revealing moments, she showed where she was cut on the leg. And that was supposed to be where her fiance cut her when she confronted her about cheating. And there is no way on God's green earth that that's how that happens. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it looked to be 5 or 6 cuts. They were parallel to each other in straight lines. If someone else is cutting you, why would you keep your leg still so that they could continue to cut you? That sounds more like self-harm. Precise is exactly the right word. They were precise. Clearly self-inflicted. So now, the story you told, the photos you showed, were all designed to make your story sound believable and to make people feel sorry for you. Okay, Miss Mandy. Mrs. Mandy, excuse me. Miss Mandy, send me a message. Just say hey. So, Kat will come on multiple times a day to ask for $20 over and over and over again. And she's clearly getting it sometimes because she keeps doing it. She's literally turning into Lisa. But even Lisa doesn't come on as many times as Kat does. When Cats get frustrated with the chat, she ends the live, comes back a minute or two later, sometimes immediately after. And she's so out of it that that's the only thing she can do. So she was on this particular time that I was watching, she was asking for clothes. She needed a polo shirt, a polo shirt and pants. And she originally said that she needed it to go to work and she had to be there by 2 o'clock. As time went on, it was, I need it for an interview. Because as we got past 2 o'clock, it was like, well, what are you doing? You're still laying in the exact same spot you were when you said you had to be there by 2 o'clock. And she was like, I'm not always laying in the bed. Literally, she goes from laying in the bed to going outside on the porch and laying on whatever they have out there. She won't be on anymore because of the bullying. As her friend, she's doing what needs to be done now. What bullying, Mercury? I'm not bullying her. I'm literally just explaining what happened. Now, if she is going to get help, I applaud her for doing so. Oh, not me. Okay. I applaud her for doing so. Because when she decided to get herself together the last time, I gave her grace. And I said, I will not talk about you anymore. And every once in a while, she would come on and I would see her. She's doing great. I'm not going to talk about her anymore. But she fell off. We can all, like, that's a statement of fact. She fell off. Change is absolutely possible. Good morning. Change is absolutely possible. And I don't care how many times it takes her to get it. As long as she's willing to try, I'm here for it. 110%. But I'm going to finish what I was saying because the goal of my lives isn't to tear anybody down, but to warn people about what to look for. Because she was getting money from people who believed her and didn't recognize that something was wrong. And even when people were like, it doesn't make sense, she was still getting money because people felt sorry for her based on the story she was telling. But if she is going to get help, I applaud her. I wish her well. I hope she's able to stick with it this time because when she was doing well, she was great. She was great. So I hope that it works out for her. But back to the story. Or I should say back to the recap. Because the story sounds like it's something I made up. Back to the recap of that day. So she was saying that she couldn't go to the job without her quote unquote uniform, which was a polo shirt and probably like khaki pants or whatever. And that what she had on wasn't proper attire. She needed $20. Now, when somebody says they need $20 50 times a day, red flag. Red flag on the play. Because nobody needs $20 50 times a day. It's $20 because it's $20. Like, that's what they need. Yes, the Jake from State Farm look. Exactly right. So while she's laying there, she shows the leg. That immediately sets off alarms in the chat. Like, girl, your girlfriend didn't stab you. I should say your fiance didn't stab you. And of course, she's really quick to show the photo of the blood on the wall. But now you have shown us your leg. We now know that the story you said was made up. And now I'm looking at everything you said up to that point, and I don't believe none of it. And then the craziest thing happens. One of her male friends, who I guess lived where she was, comes in, doesn't realize she's on live, and says, "I've saved some Xannies for us." And we were all like, ooh, 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 ooh. And she's like, "I'm not gonna knock how anybody else gets their money." And we're like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that he said he was saving them for y'all. And so then he's like, "Yup, I sell this and I got that and I got that." And she knew she was going to be reported. So she ended the live immediately. She comes back, and now she's talking about her aunt was taken off of life support. She's struggling with that, blah, blah, blah. A few minutes later in the conversation, she says her cousin was taken off of life support. And so people are like, aunt or cousin? Aunt or cousin? She was like, why does it matter? It matters because those are two different things. But again, when you are high as a kite, you can't keep track. You think you know, but you don't. You sound normal to yourself, but to everybody else, you don't. And so then when people confronted her about what the person said, she was like, no, he didn't say that. Correct, Luna. But you want people's money. So when she came back, her mod, Sammy, was still in full support. And so I asked Sammy, were you in the last live? I wasn't being rude. I was just asking. Because if she wasn't, then she didn't know about what the friend said about saving Xannies for them. And she was like, yeah, and what? Girl, what? You mad at me? Instead of checking your girl? And so I don't say anything right away. Because I'm trying to like say it in a way that she receives it with the intent that I have. But before I could even send something, other people were like, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. Then I think we had the aunt cousin mix up. And that's when I was like, you still support this? And I got blocked. You know what I say? Blocking me only adds you to the grid. Welcome to the grid, ma'am. Welcome to the grid. But I'm sorry. I am tired of seeing mods and enablers clearly see a situation and still support it. What was blocking me gonna do to help your friend? How did good morning? How did that affect me in any way? Yeah, chill. I saw. So your goal is to protect her at all costs? No matter what she's doing? You can't see what the rest of us see? Now, I'm not saying that you have to publicly shame her. You could be talking to her behind the scenes. But let's not pretend that what happened didn't happen. You're helping her continue Maggie's mod, why are you asking? Oh, Renee. No, I haven't. I've seen her on here before, but I haven't. Right, Miss Vandy. A good friend holds you accountable. Someone who cares about you holds you accountable. You could have very nicely said, Kat, maybe get offline. But you want to be angry because I'm asking you, what's up? Do you not see this? You're not helping her blocking the truth. You're not helping her by making it seem like her request was normal or appropriate, or that her attitude, her actions are appropriate. I'm unmodding myself. But they get so addicted to the power of it all, the idea of unmodding yourself is almost a step too far. You can still be her friend and no longer mod for her. But what you didn't like was that I was holding you accountable. I was saying, what are you doing? How can you continue to support this? You want to be her friend? Be her friend. You want to help her get out of the situation? Do that. But I wasn't bullying. I was asking appropriate questions. So, for people who aren't familiar, for people who see somebody in a bad situation, pay attention. Just don't be there for the drama. Just don't be there watching the comments. Pay attention. Please read the comments though, but pay attention. Because the reason why they keep getting money is because people aren't paying close enough attention. They see a situation, they think it's bad, they see blood on the wall, and they think all she needs is $20. Because then at one point, remember, it was for clothes. The next thing I know, it's her time of the month and she's in pain and she needs tampons. And people are like, can we do a pickup? And she's like, I don't want you to know where I am. And they were like, well, we won't get it delivered. We'll just order it, give you a code or a name or whatever. And people are like, well, how are you going to get it? She was like, I'm going to walk. So how does that prevent you from getting a pickup? You're going to walk. We don't know where you are specifically. Again, her decision about it didn't make sense because what she wanted was cash. If you're thinking about helping somebody, that's a great way to determine what their goal is at the end. Now, you even have to be careful there because everything can be returned. But the one great thing that Walmart started doing, and I think most retailers are doing, they put it back on the card that paid for it. If they just try to take it back. So be mindful. Be mindful. Thank you, Canna Circus Queen. Okay. Next person. Mods watch, because we all know anytime anybody talks about them, their people run and tell them, and they jump online and blah, blah, blah. They cannot get in the box. Yes, please tap, tap, tap. We've changed the photo, and especially on this one, because her and her people will try to get the live taken down for bullying and harassment, and there is no such thing going on here. She is up here because of her ask yesterday. So Miss Beth Osborne and her buddy Devin were seeking $375. Now I want you to understand that this was Sunday and she needed it to cover them until TikTok payout day. For anybody not familiar, TikTok payout day is Wednesday morning. So you need almost $400 from Sunday evening until Wednesday morning? So let me give you the list of things she says she needed, because I wrote them down. Oh, don't talk about the dogs. She needed dog food, gas, lung litter is her new term. It used to be gardening supplies, but now it's lung litter. Smokes, hygiene products, paper products. All the things that their food stamps won't pay for. She got everything else. And she said people don't like her because she has 8 dogs and she's 420 friendly. Let me tell you something. If you lived in a place, you had the money and the resources to take care of 8 dogs, nobody would care. There's a gentleman on here that I follow who he might even have more dogs than 8. And he doesn't live in the country. He lives in the city. But he's a dog trainer. And he uses his dogs to train others. They go on hikes, long walks. They're constantly being engaged. They're constantly working. And I do that in air quotes because that's what he has them do to keep. Let me tell you, there are dogs that have run up to them and they haven't left the porch because he told them not to. It's impressive. He's not on TikTok saying, "Can you help me feed my dogs?" He's not on here saying, "Can you help me with vet bills?" Their nails are not overgrown. They're not dirty. They are healthy, smart, obedient dogs. He doesn't have a problem. They don't fight over food. He doesn't need to cage them. There's a difference. It's not that you have 8 dogs. It's that you have 8 dogs and they don't go outside because you've determined that they don't like outside. Please, find me a dog that doesn't like outside, that hasn't been traumatized. Missy, I'll have to look it up. I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head what his @ name is. I have so many @ names in my head that it is hard for me. Like, I literally have to come across them. And I follow him on my personal account. So I'm rarely on my personal account anymore. And nobody cares that you're 420 friendly either. But if you're going to make the conscious decision to do those things, have those dogs, it is nobody else's responsibility to take care of them. Now, I wish people would step back long enough so that she can stop using the excuse that they can't work because every time they get a job, they're harassed, they're stalked, etc. Take your foot off the gas and let's see what they do. Because now her excuse is that the reason why they don't have the money is because they have to keep spending the money because they're being stalked and harassed by people on TikTok. Take your foot off the gas. I know that that's not the reason. You know that that's not the reason. Take your foot off the gas and let's see what she does. Correct, Nick. I understand that people are trying to rescue the dogs because we know they're in a bad set of circumstances. But the harder you push, the harder she pushes back. And she gets to use it as the excuse for why they can't take care of the 8 dogs. Let's all back off. Let's not allow her to have us as an excuse. And let's see what they do. They got a brand new camper. With what money? With what money if you had to keep moving? Good morning. Good morning to everybody coming in. Am I sure? Yes. Let's back off. Because part of the reason why she gets the support she does is because she's able to show and prove that she's being harassed and bullied, etc. Now, whether people are doing that or not, I'm not going to get in the middle. I know I don't bully. I'm not going to get in the middle about what other people do. And I can't control anybody else. But I'm asking. Let's call her bluff. Don't send animal control, because the only thing she's going to do is pick up and move again. That was the original point of getting in this situation, so that she could just move and they wouldn't be able to find her. She's not going to voluntarily give up the dogs. She will drive all over this country before she gives up the dogs. And they're going to continue to gift her as long as they think she's being bullied and harassed and stalked, etc. People driving by her house and then posting it on TikTok, step too far. For what? because it literally plays into her playbook. She gets the video, she shows it to her people, and she's like, look what they're doing to me. Now we gotta move. Now we need $375 for 3 days. Princess Peach, I get that the truth isn't bullying, but she has convinced people. Would you want somebody to ride by your house and post it? Let's just be honest. Regardless of how we feel about her, take her out of it and put you in it. Would you want anybody to drive by your house and post it on TikTok? I wouldn't. So if I wouldn't, why is it okay for it to happen to her? So that's what I mean. Take your foot off of the brake. And let's see what she does. Now, you guys know, and I know, that nothing would change. She has no intentions of ever getting a job. Because my question is this. So you're going to school, you're going to graduate, and you get whatever degree you're going to get. If people are calling your job according to you, you still can't work. So what's the point of college other than the payout? She acts like going to school online is painful. You just needed the excuse to just be able to do that. Going to school online is no longer taboo. It's no longer seen as less of a degree. She's like, now I got to go exclusively online. There are colleges that exist that are exclusively online. What are you talking about? They both get a Social Security check, correct? At least she does. I spoke to one of her supporters who said they would rather her get 420 than go back to active addiction. And they don't care what we think. She's in active addiction with 422, dummy. Just because it's not as hard as the others, she's in active addiction. And an addictive personality doesn't make good decisions when you are in active addiction. It's bad enough that she wants you to pay for her to be able to continue to smoke cigarettes. And now you got to fund that too? It's bad enough that you got to pay for dog food. But now you got to give her hygiene products too? And where is all of this money going? I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars. So how'd she get a new camper van? How did they get a new car? I think their quote-unquote wife is being bled dry. Where is she? Why isn't she there? Lorraine, there are lots of people who are functional who use it on a regular basis. But are you asking for other people to pay for it? 420 is... Somebody put it in the comments, because I can't even figure out how to say it without saying it. Correct. When do you hear about them taking the dogs to the vet? Are they updated on their shots? Yes, Mary Jane. Thank you, Mrs. Mandy. I couldn't think of it. I was thinking the Jamaican word that starts with a G, and TikTok is so sensitive, I'd get a violation. The God's lettuce. Yep. She said that we don't like her because she's honest about what she needs. Then she's like, I'm struggling right now. Moving every couple of weeks. I'm having a hard time. Who said you had to move? Who said you had to move? My thing is this. You and Devin talk all of this junk about being bold and nobody will show up and blah, blah, blah. Then stand your ground, ma'am. Why are you running? You're not afraid of us, right? You wish somebody would show up at your door. Correct, Cindy. That's the real reason. Honestly, in her 40s, I think. Really, Rochester? She's 40. Okay. She's only 40. Yo. She's not being fair to her audience in any way, shape, or form. She's battling and begging. Cindy, I was thinking the exact same thing. You need almost $400 to cover you Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning you get a payout from where they sent you TikTok gifts. That makes sense to the audience? I mean, I guess it does because they keep doing it. And let me be clear. If you know everything you know and you still want to give to her, the door is open. I won't close it. I won't shut it a little. I won't inch it towards. I will open, wide open. Go through and have fun. I'm not talking to you. I'm not here for you. You do whatever you want. I am trying to prevent the next person who comes across her to feel sorry. Correct, Sherry. Correct. Don't not have the money. Don't be able to throw the times that, because she usually battles, is it Friday night? Because that people get paid on Friday. Don't be able to throw when she's battling. And she'll be like, we're going to do 2 battles. We're going to do 3 battles. And then we're going to get back to regular scheduled programming, playing music and blah, blah, blah. You better throw. And if she loses, she pretends like she doesn't care. But you can tell. But Devin, you were talking about me. Well, she was talking about me, and you were in the background as usual. You're like the little head that's on the shoulder. That's you. Yelling about how there are food banks for dog food. So how come y'all need money from your audience? Why don't you go to a food bank where you could get dog food? That's what you told me. Why are you asking your audience now? You acted like I was too stupid to know that there are food banks that will provide dog food, cat food, you name it. So why didn't you go this time? Nick, they do too. They have created an us and them, us versus them mentality so well that even people who probably can't afford it feel so outraged for them that they will sacrifice so that they can have what they want. Because it's not what they need. It's not what they have to have. It's what they want. So I left, I left and came back. And when I came back, they had gone from $375 to $270. That means people had sent them $105 in that short amount of time. Very good, Tony. Yeah, okay. I'm waiting for the glow up. Master manipulator. So let's see. Maybe we can take our foot off the gas for a little while. And I don't mean not exposing them for who they are. But let's back off long enough for them to have taken care of themselves and see how it works out. But as long as she can show videos of people riding by her house, calling animal control, who do nothing, by the way, which pissed me off. He talked all that junk to her, gave people hope that they would actually do something, and then just pulled off. So much for that. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, Buttercup. They don't. Oh, please, Buttercup. No more dancing. No more dancing. Leave it in the camper, please. All right, who's next? Jordan Paul is back with another ridiculous story. Now, everybody please tap if you're new here. Every time I change the photo, tap the live until you feel the heart's tail. And what that means is you start double tapping. Eventually you'll see the heart. Keep tapping. You'll see a line. I call it the heart's tail. Fill it and then take a break. If you'd like to tap after that, be my guest. But that's all I'm asking for. It helps us get on the FYP so we can meet new people. And it helps us maintain the live so that they can't report me to death. If I start lagging or you can't hear me, let me know right away. Okay? Stalker here reporting for duty. Welcome in, Sammy. So, I can absolutely believe that she got put out. Let me start there. 100%. And she hasn't been on because I believe she got the job. And I told y'all that. I told y'all I thought she did in fact get the job. She claimed that she was going to have 2 jobs, that it was part-time, but we all knew that she had lost a security job months and months and months before, which is why she got evicted from her apartment, which is why she needed money constantly. But I believe she got this job. And so she's working. So she can't be on TikTok all the time. But the moment something happens, she comes back to her old faithful audience and needs something. So the story goes that she moved into a place, and the woman of the house, who is the mother of Jordan's friend, which is a young black kid. I didn't think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be the friend that had, that was disabled, but it wasn't. That when she moved in, the woman said, the only thing you need to do is put food in the house. We aren't talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds who have just gotten out of school and their job is at McDonald's. They don't make that much and they're still trying to figure out life. No, we're talking about grown people. Oh, Nick, well, enjoy. And if you want to hear me, I post to YouTube the same day. So if anybody misses any part of it, please go to my YouTube channel, follow it, and you can watch. As of the middle of July, I started posting on the same day. It only makes sense to do that. Because if I posted a week later, everything I've said is old news. Hello, welcome in. So, I'm sorry, if my son's friend was coming to move in and they're both grown, you're going to contribute. My YouTube is Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word. You want to find me somewhere? Look up Digital Deceiver Shadow. If I have an account, I'm there. Thank you for following my YouTube. I appreciate it. So, you're going to contribute in my household. And it's not going to be just food. Because you don't just eat food. There's electric, there's water, and you have your computer and you're working from home. So you're not even just... And we also know she has her PlayStation or Xbox or whatever it is where she plays games. So you're going to put it on the electric bill because the electric bill is clearly going to go up. Almost exclusively because of you. So it doesn't make sense to me that that's what she would say. What I believe, which is why Jordan struggles everywhere she goes, is that she thinks she can manipulate people into allowing her to keep her money. And what she might have said was, you just starting this job, get in, take a couple of months to get it together, and then start whatever. But of course, Jordan wants that to last 6 months. So according to Jordan, both Jordan and the woman's son were kicked out. And they were kicked out because the story goes that the woman started to harass her for money, even though she told Jordan all Jordan had to do was put food in the house. Now, Jordan doesn't eat a lot. So even if that's what she said, I can imagine Jordan putting $50 in there and being like, I put food in there. Like, whatever she asked Jordan to do, Jordan was going to do less than the bare minimum. So Jordan says that while she's working, the woman would bust in her door and start going off while she was on the phone with a customer. I could see somebody who was frustrated doing that. But anyway, Jordan says that she kicked him out because 48 hours prior to needing the rent money, which again doesn't even make sense, the woman said to her, I need $835 to pay the rent in 48 hours. And according to Jordan, Jordan was in fact getting paid, but she needed to make her car payment. And that was her priority. So she wasn't going to be able to come up with that money. And that when she told the woman that, she not only kicked out Jordan, but kicked out her own son as well. I'm a mom. I'm a mom of a 30-something-year-old. He lived with me for a long time. He wasn't trying to grow up. If he wasn't paying rent before his friend got there, why would I demand that he pay rent now? And if someone came in my house and they had their own bedroom and they're grown and they have a job, they're going to contribute to the household, whether you want to call it they help pay the bills or they have rent. Whatever you want to call it. There's no way on God's green earth, however, that if the person who I require to pay rent doesn't do it and I kick them out, that I kick my son out too? Who does that make sense to? But then, what was I going to say? Sorry, this is what happens when I read the comments. I forgot my line of reasoning. I apologize. That's why and understand something. I'm not purposely ignoring comments. When I start reading them, I will go left and not pay attention. So I apologize. It doesn't happen often, but it happens every once in a while. And if there wasn't any particular comment, I just started paying attention to them and lost my thought. Yeah, I know it was. I was at that place where I was talking about my son living in the house. But I had another point about why her getting kicked out didn't make sense. Oh, I got it. Thank you. I got it back. Jordan knows the law. And Jordan knows that if she's been living there for 30 days, whether she has paid a dime of rent or not, that if she gets mail there and has been there for 30 days, it requires an eviction. So you want me to believe that Jordan just got up and walked out the door? And packed all her things and left? Where she put the computer? But of course she had the dogs in the car. Can you imagine somebody moving in, they're home all day, every day because they work from home and they bought 2 dogs? And doesn't expect to have to pay anything? But Jordan knows the law. She wouldn't have just left. She would have said, evict me. Perhaps bashful. I don't even know where she is now. So when she jumps on here and is like, I need help, I don't have anywhere to go, I don't know if she's going to try to go back to hotels. I don't believe any part of that story. She's out. The cops was there and told her to get a U-Haul because her... Really? Does anybody have access to the video? Somebody send me where the video is. She begged for a hotel yesterday. Well, clearly the woman had cause to put her out and the cops backed her up. Nikki has it? Ho, 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 yes. The woman had cause then. Yeah. We are back to Motel Jordan. And now the story is going to be, you got to keep me here because the dogs, and now I work from home and blah, 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 blah. Where are her paychecks? She said the boy is with her too? Yes, Sammy. Sammy, she knows most of the time it's not you, but it sounds good to say that it's you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I guess she'll be back at the top of the magnifying glass photos, because it's on ScanSlam's YouTube. Okay, perfect. Because it back to Hotel Jordan. Oh God. Right, Sammy. It is always your fault. She could trip and she would be like, Sammy put something there for me to trip off. And she's like, I have this restraining order, blah, 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 blah. Girl, but show it. Show it. Don't just wave it in the air. Post it. Moving right along. Crystal, because he's figured out she gets money. Who's next? Oh, Timothy Nash. Let's find the page. So, Timothy comes back rolling. When I was telling you guys earlier about somebody always having drama, always having these extreme cases, I was thinking about him. Yes, please tap, tap, tap until you feel the heart's tail. If you're a member of the team, join the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, and you're enjoying it, join the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. But if not, do me a favor and like the live until you feel the heart's tail, and then take a break. So, he popped back up because he needed $30. Of course, it's for medication. And what he said was that he was in the ER because he uses the ER like some people use the bathroom. And he was found to have 2 to 3 kidney stones. And let me make this clear. Miss May, don't bother to come over here, okay? And or don't come over here and expect to be able to talk to me. Because you're just playing in our faces. But you won't over here. So he claims he has 2 to 3 kidney stones. And that they ordered him antibiotics and pain meds. Be for real. If you are already getting a script for pain meds, you're not getting another one. So, lie. And he was like, after spending all morning in the hospital, I can't risk another infection. Miss May, send him the $30. Then somebody said something about him having withdrawals, and his response was, it would be easy to take care of it if it was that I was strung out. Then he was like, wait, what? People were like, show proof, and he was like, I'm not showing my personal out here. If people are going to help you, they'll help you out with the proof. And he's like, it's not like I don't take you with me. But like Sherry said last night in the sub live, every time he needs to show us, just before he goes to show us, he ends the live. But somebody did a little research. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Before I get there, a woman named Paulina gave him money, I believe. But instead of taking us to the pharmacy, he wigged out and got so mad that he had to end the live and come back on. My question is, you have another ER visit and they're not getting paid? Be for real. So, Darling Darkness, hold on, let me find it, did a quick Google search. And this is how you know these scammers aren't smart. Because they could do a simple Google search before they come on and keep it a buck. But while he was telling us the story, and this is a thank you to Darling Darkness, he posted, because Timothy Nash said that it was a 13 millimeter kidney stone. And as you can see, a simple Google search will show you that you can't pass that. That it will require medical intervention. So, Miss May, while you want to continue to support him, he's lying to the very audience that you mod for. Thank you, Darling Darkness. I so appreciate it. I appreciate you posting it. He's lying to the very audience that you are modding for. I guess your reputation doesn't matter. Yes, there was a woman next to me. She was in pain one time, and they called her and told her she had kidney stones, and she thought, well, okay, I'll go home. And they were like, no, ma'am, we're taking you into surgery as soon as there's a suite available. She panicked. Because she thought, oh, okay, that makes sense why I'm in so much pain. Give me something, I'll go. They were like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Right. With his pain patches, there's no way they would have given him another pain med. Not at all. So you keep on. I am so happy for you that you decided to hit your horse up, or what is it called? How do you say that? Whatever it is that you decided to, I think, what is it? Dang. I'll just say it this way. That you decided to put your horse in Tim's stable. Because you care so much. He's a liar. And we already know he's lying about the cancer. We're already knowing that he lies about the tents. We already know he Oh, wait a minute. Let me find another lie. Let's see. Did I download it? Sure did. So you know how he says he can't get TennCare, that he keeps getting denied? Well, I decided to show you guys what it takes to get TennCare. It is primarily based on income related to the federal poverty guidelines. So, in Tennessee, a person can't earn more than $1,350 a month. And the limits scale up with larger households. But it's just him. And for all of the months that he wasn't working, he wouldn't qualify? Oh, wait. No. Okay, I can't do it this way. Hold on. They also have like some specific programs for children, pregnant women, people with disabilities. He doesn't qualify there. And he doesn't have SSI. Although, based on his illnesses, he certainly should have it. And to apply, it is as simple as going to their website or calling them or showing up in the office. That's it. SNAP benefits. This is EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call it. This is the basic criteria. You have to be a resident of Tennessee. You have to have a social security number. It is based on income and household size. Well, we know it's just him. Here are the income limits for SNAP benefits. You must earn at or below 130% of the federal poverty level. Your net income, I'm sorry, that was your gross. Your net income must be at or below 100% of the federal poverty level or guidelines after allowable deductions. Your asset limit can't be more than $3,000. Well, we know he doesn't have that because he doesn't have $30 to buy his medication. Now, there are work requirements. Able-bodied adults must register for work, participate in employment training, and respond to job offers. Able-bodied adults without dependents can get 3 months of benefits in a 3-year period unless meeting work training requirements, which is 80 hours a month. Some people work 80 hours in 2 weeks. You only got to do it for 80 hours a month. How do you apply? Again, the portal. After applying, you'll be contacted for an eligibility interview. You provide documentation. And the benefits are typically approved or denied within 30 days or 7 if expedited. Expedited, you're homeless, you have nothing, they can expedite it for you. So, Timothy, you're a liar. Because you have qualified for all of those things for months. There is no way you've been denied that many times. No way. You don't work. That also means you're not paying hospital bills. You're not paying primary care bills. You're not paying specialty bills. And you're certainly not paying for all of this medication. Not the criminal record that he has. Really, Baby Yoda? What state did he do that in? Oh. So he's lying. He's still lying. Ooh, what did I do? I'm sorry. That might be why he hasn't qualified. Daisy May, a police record doesn't automatically mean you get denied. It depends on why. And if he has defrauded them, he would have to pay back the equivalent or lose the equivalent to get it back. But like Lisa could never get SNAP again because she defrauded them. Felons can get food stamps. It could very well be the drug test. That would make sense. Yeah, felons can get benefits. Yes, even with drug charges. That would make sense. Daisy May, the goal is for everybody to learn one thing today. They rug test for TennCare. And I said it last night, 6 states, as of yesterday, have also now put in restrictions so that if you get EBT, you cannot buy soda, candy, certain processed foods, and prepared desserts. Now, part of my problem with the processed food is that that's the cheapest food. So you can't get ramen noodles, macaroni cheese in a box, Like, if fresh food was reasonable, get it. But it's not. It's not reasonable. So, okay. People who are already on the breadline and need food stamps, I kind of understand candy and soda, right? I hope that when they're talking about processed foods, it doesn't apply to everything. Because, oh, you mean meals, like cooked meals? Well, it's already correct, Nick. It sounds good until you get down to the details and you realize that there may be a tiny amount of meat on the plate and a huge amount of other things to fill the children. Okay, Grinch Mob, thank you. Right, they make the dollar stretch. Hello, White Sox. What happened to outside? Oh, okay, you just gonna let me... he just laid right down. I don't know if they can purchase lunch meat. Right. I love a bologna sandwich. Get it, fry it. You gotta cut the edges so it doesn't pop up. With some mustard and some Wonder Bread. It's gotta be Wonder Bread. Whoo, that's the best. White Sox came and laid right down next to Kira. I'm surprised she hasn't hissed at him yet. Okay, love a good fried bologna sandwich. Oh, but it has to be beef bologna for me. I don't eat a lot of pork. In fact, I avoid it as much as possible. Yup, grilled cheese and tomato soup is good too. I am not from New Jersey. I am from Connecticut. Born and raised. Then I moved to Florida. I'm going to introduce you to somebody you may not know. Carla Contrast is a newer one to me. I've given her several watches. I've been blocked. So you know what that means. Welcome to the grid, baby girl. Welcome to the grid. Tap, tap, tap. Now, you guys know how I feel about people who wrap themselves in the cloak of God. I might have written it down, Nunya. Yep, I wrote it down. I'll tell you. I hate that. She is one of the worst. She's one of the worst because she has people convinced that she's on this journey because God told her to. But she's not on a spiritual journey. That's the thing. There are some people who are led on a spiritual journey. She isn't on one. She is using it to get what she wants. Nope, don't think it's mental illness. Although, according to her, she had a very rough upbringing, and one of her parents is so abusive that she prayed to God that she was tired of living like this, and she was willing to go back, even if it meant she got unalived. So I don't know that part of her story, although she said there was a video that talked about it. She is Echo. What's 2025 minus 1998?
2025 minus 1998 is 27.
She's 27 years old. So, she talked about how she's sick of rejection. Wait a minute, is this the first day? This might be the first day that I took notes. Good morning. Thank you so much. Everybody knows gifts are appreciated, not an expectation. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, this was the first time I wrote anything down. So she says she's been facing constant rejection. And she doesn't want to stay with her family. That she's homeless. Thank you guys. That she's staying in hotels. Because, goodness gracious, y'all. Thank you. Go ahead, Kyle. No, she doesn't live in a tent. She's living in hotels that people pay for. She is the female version of Mark Russell, where she's been traveling around the country on other people's dimes, but using God to build her platform. Because she started off talking about her Christianity and motivation and blah, blah, blah. Gained a huge following based on that. And has now turned to begging, which is funny because she's like, people came and they expect that, and now that I'm not doing that full time, I'm not, because people saw that you were using God as a way to hook people so that you could start begging them for money. Sandy, she don't have a church. She keeps moving. Just 2 weeks ago, she was in Nashville, Tennessee. They're like Josh and Ida. Josh and Ida have 90,000 followers, and sometimes if they get over 100, they know for a fact that awareness is in there. They can get 25 people when they go to battle. She's the same way now. Yeah, people came because they thought you were authentic. And the moment they saw that you started begging for money, they knew what was up. People with discernment know what is up. If people wanted to pay you or to donate to you because they appreciate what you do, that's one thing. When you have to beg for a place to stay, that is something else. So I requested the box. And y'all know, when I go in as digital especially, I am calm. I lower my tone, which I don't even like how I sound, but I lower my tone so that they don't think that I'm excited or that I'm coming for them. Let me find out more. Perhaps I can help you with resources. And I always ask for the box. Don't demand it. Just ask a few times. So she muted me. And then blocked me. So I went back in under expose and said, why did you block me? And she blocked me again. Welcome to the grid, baby girl. Welcome to the grid. You leaped yourself on the grid so fast. She doesn't trust shelters. She can't live with her toxic family. But you, for the simple price of listening, can use your hard-earned money to keep her comfortable. And she isn't staying in motels. She's staying in hotels. Okay? She talks about praying to God, and she doesn't understand why God has her going through this, but she's just going to continue to follow him. God says the man that won't work doesn't eat. What do you say to that? And she's like, I worked so hard in his name. And just like the rest, she wants people to believe that they are being used by God to bless this wonderful servant of his. She blocked me because she doesn't want anything to alter her narrative. She doesn't want to come against anybody who could question her and her version of spirituality to say, but wait a minute. The Bible says XYZ as well. By the way, I said this the other day and I'm going to say it again. Don't let just anybody pray for you. I was telling somebody last night that a friend of mine, she was started off as a coworker. And when we discovered that we had the same birthday, it's like an automatic connection. And we were very similar. We got along great. And eventually she introduced me to her family, to I was introduced to as her husband. And as time went on, I got to really know them. And then I started to know the truth. This gentleman was a practicing Muslim, but was also a pastor in a Pentecostal church. And what he would do is do Muslim prayers in English so that they didn't know. And he changed whatever words he needed to change to fit the church. My friend was his side piece. He was married to another woman. And what I realized the closer I got, she was getting funded her rent through a DV program because her husband tried to unalive her with a knife. So they never officially got married. They had a Jewish ceremony in her home. So we have a practicing Muslim marrying a Jewish woman in their home, but they never filed any paperwork. So in her mind, they were spiritually married. Because her DV, whatever it was paying her rent, he purchased a house. And she used the DV funds to pay her man the rent. And so he becomes pastor of this church at this time. He would get up in the morning from his wife's house, drive to my friend's house, the house he owns, have breakfast with her, go to work. When he got off work, he came back to my friend's house, had dinner, and then stayed with her for a while, and then go back to his wife's house. He had 2 sons that were almost the same age, one by each woman. And he offered to pray for me. Sir, no. No, thank you. No, thank you. That is the first time I ever rejected anybody praying for me. And ever since then, I've been very, very careful about allowing anybody to pray for me. Absolutely not. I don't know who you serve. You could say you serve God, doesn't mean it's the God I serve. And I don't mean that in a religious way, like, oh, well, Muslims serve Allah and Christians serve God and this person serves Jesus and this person. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, to some people, money is God. To some people, fame is their God. To some people, it's the opposite of God that's actually their God. Please be careful who is praying over you. Did the wife find out? Of course she knew. They both knew about each other. But they turned a blind eye to it. Like, I know that's what he's doing, but as long as he comes over here and does X, Y, and Z for me, fine. As long as he comes home every night, fine. He eventually left his wife because my friend's father purchased them a home here in Florida in a 55 and over community, and he was the one that was over 55, not my friend. So he had to move down here because someone over 55 had to live in the house. So he eventually left his wife. True story. I swear to y'all, true story. Yeah, he was. So, if you are covered by the blood of Jesus, what are you so afraid of? You're afraid of having a conversation with somebody? No, you're not. You don't know if I was a potential giver. You don't know if I wanted to offer you prayer. Thank you, Sherry. You don't know what my intention was. But you blocked me because you were afraid. So she comes back yesterday. I'm sorry. Let me just add a couple of things. So she was doing her skincare like ma'am. And talking about how she had to leave, that someone had just donated her groceries, and she was afraid they were going to go bad, and she has to go sit in the lobby and just wait for people to send her money. And what usually happens, she said this, right, Miss Mindy? She said that sometimes people in the lobby give her money or pay for her hotel rooms. And I was thinking, like, how would they even know to do that if you're sitting there? Well, I found out yesterday is because she sits there and cries. You what? You ain't reading your Bible? You're not praying? No. You're crying. All manipulation. So she had to leave her room that day, and she sat in the lobby. And she said she did some research, and she was trying to decide if she got the money, would she stay in this hotel or go to the other one? And she said she kept getting watched, and she didn't understand. You are sitting in their lobby with all of your stuff, crying. Why wouldn't they want you to leave? Like, why are you here? And what are you doing? And again, we're not talking motels, we're talking hotels. I can imagine somebody coming in to check in and seeing this woman crying and thinking, what have I just walked into? Of course they were watching you. So she says that just as soon as she got the couple of donations, which by the way paid for her to be in a hotel for 2 days, not one. A worker or manager or something came up to her and said, "Are you going to extend your stay or not? Because we're going to have to ask you to leave." She wouldn't have got that long if I was the manager. Girl, you gotta go outside. Like, you're bringing too much attention. You're affecting my guest's peace. So she decided to go to the other hotel because that made her uncomfortable. But while she was there crying and struggling, she actually gave God an ultimatum. Anybody who is a believer, that you did what? And somebody even said giving God an ultimatum is diabolical. Like, what? I understand that sometimes something goes wrong and then another thing goes wrong and then another thing goes wrong and you're like, God, why is this happening? Some people, even pastors, priests, have like a moment of questioning their faith. But an ultimatum to God? So she feels like God has told her that her job is social media. Because whenever she tries to get a regular job, she can't get it. And that when she goes for resources, she's rejected every single time. So that's God telling her that social media is her job. Girl, you need some more discernment. At 27, you haven't figured it out. So since TikTok isn't paying her, she's going over to Twitch because a friend of hers says it's easier to get it paid on Twitch. By the way, I have her Twitch name. She won't get peace over there. She could go run over there, but she's not going to get peace. I'll be following. So God, according to her, is going to bless her social media career. And then she started mind you, she said she couldn't sleep the night before. Girl, when you're homeless and you get a hotel room and you are comfortable in a bed and showered and you have food, what's keeping you up at night? Okay. So then she started to tell more of her story, and she says that she's only been in Kansas City for 2 weeks. Because before that, she was in Nashville, Tennessee. And she's from Houston, Texas. And the reason why she was in Nashville so long is because she had a court case to deal with. Okay, Sister Holy. What was the court case, ma'am, that kept you in Nashville? Because she said that God led her to Nashville. But when she got there, she realized that that wasn't the place for her. So she prayed to God to go to Kansas City. Because she liked being in Kansas from before. Oh, that's what she said. Nashville isn't cheap. So, on the day of court, she prayed to God. She got it resolved, whatever it was. And she prayed to God to be able to go to Kansas City. And when she left court, there was $1,000 in her account. And she wanted us to know that $1,000 isn't that much money. Because she brought a flight to Kansas City. She brought new luggage that cost her $100. She had to pay 2 more nights in the hotel because her flight was a couple of days away. And then when she got to Nashville, to Kansas City, she had to get a hotel for a couple of days. She was like, you said $1,000 sounds like a lot of money, but then poof, it's gone. So you blew somebody's $1,000 in 4 days? Hey, Granny Annie, thank you. It's not a lot of money? Girl, I think you're going to need to downgrade yourself from a hotel to a motel. And she was complaining that Kansas City used to be cheap and now it's expensive. Ma'am, God hasn't given you the insight that it's expensive everywhere? Good morning, good morning. Hey, Ladybug. The flowers are so pretty. I love it. It's very striking. Can't miss it. So you know what I always say, and I said it to her from a burner. I said, honey. So first I asked her what her content would be. And she said, she started this one talking about God and motivation, and that one she's just going to talk about life. What about your life is so interesting that Twitch is going to pay you to talk about it? The flower, yeah, they are. Thank you so much. What? But okay, girl, go on ahead over there to Twitch. She talked about how life is so exhausting. But that God has shown her that the only option is social media. So that's what we're doing. We're running around the country. We're using a relationship with a God to make excuses for why other people should pay her. But now she doesn't want that to be her content. Because she said it put her in a niche and TikTok won't take her out of it. Yes, it will. But if what you have to say, even if you change the subject, is broad enough, people will stick around. You'll get pushed out even further. It just stopped working for her. And now her content is begging. And if that's your content on Twitch, I promise you're going to be in the exact same boat. And I couldn't understand why she doesn't have food stamps. It's because she just showed up in Kansas City 2 weeks ago. And before that, it was Nashville. I don't know where it was before that. Yeah, May, listen. So keep on. I'll be watching. And I don't care if you switch apps. I'll be watching you over there too. I can get alerted when you go live. So thank you. Thank you very much. You can block me as many times as you'd like. I'm always going to be watching. That's what the shadow part of my name means. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm the shadow. They are the digital deceiver. and I lurk in the shadows. Correct, May. There has to be an entertainment element. And begging on Twitch isn't it. Okay. Let me ask this. Are people willing to stick around longer than 9:30? Let me ask that first. Okay. So I'll go through it all because I have 3 more people and one of them is going to be considerably long because of the raising the consciousness I'm going to do. You'll stay all day? Okay. Thank you guys. And I understand that people have real life. If you have to go, please do. It'll be posted. I started doing snippets. So that'll be, oh, you're off today? Yay! All right. Oh, Steve! Just in time. Just in time. Thank you for coming. Because that's where I was going next. You must know. Welcome in, Steve. If you were listening, I don't know what gods you serve, so keep your blessings. So, I am not even interested in my notes. Timothy, you have crossed the red line for me. And I said it the other day, and I'm going to say it again today. You can call me whatever you want. But you decided to call Fallon a bitch and a see you next Tuesday. You have lied on the governor, our guardians. I don't know. He is still the governor in my mind. The guardians of valor to your audience. And we know your audience will never know that because you never show proof. Thank you. You never show proof of anything. You want people to just believe you, but you want us to come up with receipts? Well, ma'am, Fallon clocked your tea. So who's the bitch now? Who's the bitch now, Tim? Did you see Fallon's video? Yeah. You're worrying about us, and you need to be worrying about what's going on in your own home. Who's the bitch now? And furthermore, you want everybody to treat your precious wife with kitten gloves. Well, the gloves are off. How would you feel if I called her a bitch? Lazy, good for nothing, manipulator, liar. Would you like that? Would you like us to post videos of her that are unflattering? Would you like us to call her ugly, unattractive? The adjectives I could give for your wife are numerous, unending. But you want to call another woman a bitch and a see you next Tuesday? on live? Because you don't like the fact that people are calling you out for your nonsense? But no. We can't do that to Angela. We would be wrong. We take it too far. Let me tell you something. Have people not been accurate when it comes to you? Yes, and I've come here and I've said it. Good morning, Candy. I have said that people need to be accurate because you hold us to a higher standard than you hold your wife. You hold us to a standard when you don't even have your own household under control. But there is no way on this God's green earth that you are going to disrespect two of my favorite people. And I'm not going to come back and have nothing to say. You don't get to have it both ways. Whatever, Angela. If your son can't, your husband, son, if your husband can't control his mouth, then I won't feel the need to control mine. Be as mad as you'd like. But the women on here, we stand on business. We're not doing any of that foolishness that you complain about. I don't run real life. I don't have anybody secretly watching you and taking videos. I use your own words and actions against you, and I use my own experience in life and what I can research and learn to call you out. And I'm sorry that you don't like it. The Guardians of Valor wrote you a simple letter with a simple request. You decided that you were going to ignore it because you thought it was a joke. And with everything in life, you had to face the consequences. He never said you were kicked out because you were cooking food. Stop lying. What we said was that after the letter, they were probably done and tired of you and said, you're gone. But you want to disrespect the women that I care about? The Guardians of Valor, who has put his life on the line for us? Who is only trying to get back what the women that you promised? The money that they gave you to help you and your lazy ass wife? Sir, do not make me have to take this to the gutter, because I will. I hold myself to a certain standard when it comes to doing this. I don't tease people. I don't body shame. I don't make stuff up. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. If I find that someone else has lied about you, I'll come here and say it. I have done it on multiple occasions, which you have failed to acknowledge. You'll acknowledge anything else I do, but you won't acknowledge the fact that I have said that I don't appreciate people making up stories. I don't appreciate people calling around to hotels to try to find you. I don't appreciate people trying to find out where you work because I need you to have a job. But guess what? If that lazy ass wife of yours would get off her tail and get a job, you'd have less stress. If that lazy ass wife of yours would get up and get online and just say, hey guys, you know we're going to need the hotel, but you know what? Get ready with me. Provide some content other than you having to beg. It might help out. You might be less stressed. And guess what? It's working because it's taking you longer and longer to get that money. Weren't we all up past midnight because it took him that long to get the money? People are getting tired of you. And guess what? The only time you get money is when you talk about us. But dig here. The fact that you had a pastor and 2 deacons ignore you tells us everything we need to know about who you are in real life. You tried to use that for sympathy, it didn't work. So you talked about awareness. And then when that didn't work, you talked about the dog. And when that didn't work, you talked about your wife's health conditions. And when that didn't work, you came right back to awareness. See, I take notes. I don't make anything up. Oh yes, let's talk about that lazy assness of hers. The other day, he needed to go to the bathroom. He asked her to just take over while he went to the bathroom, and she couldn't bother to do that. And you want to come from Fallon that works a full-time job, has a household to maintain, and she supports us behind the scenes. She makes sure we don't have flip-floppers. She uses evidence to call out scammers. You want to talk about her? I'm going to need you to find somebody else to pick on, because it won't be her. You want to talk about me? Be my guest. You're going to cry to the audience tonight about how mean I was to your wife? Leave Fallon alone. Stop lying on the Guardians of Valor. I can't never get that right. Stop lying on the Guardians of Valor. I know you're getting another letter if you haven't gotten it already. And it's a good one. And I can't wait to get permission to put it out. We're done with you. We're done with your nonsense. We're done with it all. So keep playing. Keep playing. Keep thinking it's sweet. It's not. Gloves off. I know it's only a part-time job. Ridiculous. But at least he's doing something. Better than the lazy-ass wife he got laying in the bed that doesn't even have enough gumption, doesn't have enough appreciation, isn't thankful to get on here and show her face and talk to the people. The people there that care about you don't care about whether you have makeup on or not. We don't care. But people are sending their money so you can be comfortable. You, not him. He said he could sleep in the car. It's to keep you comfortable. And you can't even let him take a break? Timmy, get your wife in line before you come for any other woman on this app. Period. Now, Steve, go run tell that. Next. Let me drink some water real quick, y'all. Now, this one's going to be a long one. You're going to have to deal with me. Perfect. It'll be out after my nap. Y'all come back and look for the letter that Guardians of Valor sent to Tim. We are no longer playing with you, sir. It'll be out. If I stay awake long enough, it'll be out before I take my nap. Thank you for permission, sir, and I appreciate your service, both to this nation, to us as individuals, and to this thing called anti-scam. We appreciate you. So, Miss Wells, I have tried to talk to you about your business acumen, but you ignore me. I've tried to tell you that there's no way that starting off your lives by saying that you need to pay your rent, that you're hurting for money, is a way to conduct business. I'm trying to help you out. It has gotten to the point where the only thing you can do is this wheel raffle. You don't even bother to try to sell nails anymore. Why? Because you figured out that with the raffle, yes, please tap, tap, tap. And I know you're listening, or you have somebody listening, because you change as I talk. What became clear to me is that you don't need to sell your nails with the raffle. Why? Because you require a number of girls. I believe the number is 9. And you give them a number of spots based on how much money they give you. And it changes every day. So I did like an average. Usually a couple of people get the $30. A couple people get the $20. And the rest might get somewhere between $10 and $20. That means that for one pair of nails, on average, you're getting $200. Why would you need to sell nails? You are getting $200 for a pair of nails. Why sell them when you can do the wheel? And I had a funny feeling about this wheel, this raffle. So I did a little investigating. Come with me on the journey that I found. Correct. They're not free if you have to pay. Ooh. Let's go back. So, is a raffle or a sweepstakes legal? A raffle is where participants pay to enter for a chance to win. Typically qualifies as a what? An illegal lottery under the law. Especially when run by private individuals. That's because it combines consideration, which means payment and chance and a prize. The consideration is the payment, the chance is the random winner, and the prize, in this case, is a pair of nails. And that creates a lottery scenario. To be legal in most U.S. states, the raffles must be conducted by a qualified nonprofit, often with licensing and profits used for charitable purposes. Sweepstakes, on the other hand, can be run by anybody, But in those cases, no purchase is required, removing the consideration element. TikTok has rules. TikTok allows giveaways, but they have strict regulations. A, no purchase is required. There are clear, easily accessible terms and conditions like entry rules, timeline, winner selection, and eligibility. That wheel, when she names the name, like Noah, did she show us the wheel? No. We don't know what name popped up. But okay. Yes, Daisy Mae, we're going to get there. There has to be a fair and transparent winner selection method if it's random. Again, we don't see the wheel. And you must avoid requiring payment or purchases to enter. That's non-negotiable. Now, I'm doing all of this, and I got a lot more to tell y'all, because we need to become a collective on this one. I used this information to report her to TikTok, and TikTok found no violations 8 separate times. One person reporting her isn't going to be enough. But there are 503 people in here. If we all got together... Yes, I know Misty Muffy. She followed me, and I hope she's here. And if not, I'm going to purposely or intentionally send her this live on YouTube so she can watch it. Thank you. Next. So this is a summary. If you require payment, you're likely running an illegal lottery unless you're properly licensed as a nonprofit, which we know she's not. And even nonprofits have requirements. And it is a direct violation of TikTok guidelines because of consideration. Now, I want you to remember that word when you report it to TikTok. That is what is being violated because she requires payment. Remember, that's what the consideration was. Payment. Oh, wait. Of course, they put it out of order. So, if you spot an illegal raffle on TikTok, you'll want to report it to both TikTok, and if it's in Ohio, to the Ohio Attorney General, because it violates both TikTok community guidelines and state gambling laws. Now let's see how to do this. Report it to TikTok under the frauds and scams. This gives you a step-by-step guide. Screenshot it if you must. Even the words. This is a paid raffle/lottery that requires payment to enter. This violates TikTok guidelines and Ohio gambling laws. Submit. Okay? Here is a reporting template. Screenshot it if you must, but it will be posted. By the way, you see that Ohio revised code? Remember that part. Report it to the Ohio Attorney General. Screenshot it if you must. Girl, you better go back to just selling nails. Okay? Go back to selling nails. Because this wheel raffle of yours is coming to an end one way or another. Screenshot this. This is the template you can use to write to the Attorney General what's happening in his state. Okay. And this is optional, especially for people who actually participated. Report it to the payment processor. Okay, perpetual karate. Oh, listen. And let's bear in mind, this can be used for anyone. So make sure you keep it in case we start to see other people think that this is the way they can take care of anybody else. And this is the message you can send to the payment processor. So I think if we get together, I think if we get together as a collective and decide that we're going to report her, this may come to an end. It requires us as a whole. They're not going to pay attention to one comment. She has too many people in there. But anytime you see her live and she mentions that wheel, get to typing. Force the algorithm and the AI that they're using to manage to bubble it up to a real person. Oh, yes, this is from Self Tanner, by the way. Please don't bring him up. He's actually sleeping right now. We are not saying his name because I don't want him looking me in my face like, you wanted me? Right. The numbers will force attention. Oh, you saw? Let's see. Oh, it's not showing it now. What video got 1.6 million views? Oh, yes. Good morning. Jessica, did you mean to come up? Oh, you saw his white socks? Yeah. How could I name him anything else? So Carrie, I'm gonna need you to do something different. Oh, okay, Queen Kenzie. So my name is Digital Deceiver Shadow, and I introduced 9 different people Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6:30 a.m., where I expose the scammers, beggars, and liars on TikTok so that people don't get taken advantage of. And this one in particular is Carrie Walls, Carrie Wells, whatever it is. And she started off by selling terrible nails on this app and charging $100. She then started buying nails, saying that she made them herself, charging $130. Well, she was evicted from her boyfriend's home, and now her and her mother and her brother are living in a hotel. Now, if you were watching her from inside the hotel one day, she said that they are all applying for Social Security disability. So, mom already has it, brother is applying, and she's applying. She's appealing because she was already denied. They told her that, yes, you have a mental health condition, but your arms and legs are fine. And clearly they are. How she expects to get disability while she runs a nail company is beyond me. But that's why she doesn't have an official business. It's why she doesn't have a license. It's why she doesn't have insurance to cover her in case she is sued, because then the state would know about it. It also means that she's not paying taxes. If that's not a scammer, I don't know what is. And now she wants you to buy her $100 nails, and she wants your tax dollars so she doesn't have to go get a job. Make that make sense. Texas Mama, did you intend to ask for the box? Oh wait, I forgot a part. I forgot a part. My bad. Nope. Where did I put it? Nope. I forgot this part, by the way. Let's not forget it. Did you want the box? I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're not the only one that I see streaming her.
I don't stream
Um,
her. I don't stream her.
well, showing her like this. You're like the second or third person that I've seen. Unknown's doing it. Eminem, whatever her name is on here that's doing it too right now. Um, but anyways, I have bought over 60 pairs of nails from her. I still
Okay.
have over 20 of them right here. And it doesn't matter if she makes them, buys them, or whatever. And I don't understand. But just know, I have over 200 people in here reporting you, and you will lose your life just like the other ones have.
You don't have 200 people in here because that's my normal number. Texas Mama. And I don't care whether she makes them, buys them, poops them out. What she is doing on her raffle is illegal. I got 200 people in. Girl, you think I don't know my own analytics? And if you take me down, it doesn't matter, because guess what I have? A backup page that everybody knows about. So I'm glad that you bought 60 and you only have 20. I thought that you could keep them for life. Texas Mama, I don't care. It is never gonna stop me. You can't silence me because I'm not bullying. What she is doing is illegal. Why don't you go run and tell her that? Because let's focus. So the penalties for an illegal raffle in the state of Ohio is a misdemeanor of the first degree. Subsequent offenses can elevate it all the way to a felony in the fifth degree. Yeah, she thought she ate, but she's still hungry. So what that means? That means that she could get up to 6 months in jail, fines, or probation for the very first violation. Right, Crystal. When it reaches a felony, there could be longer prison sentences, larger fines, and a lasting criminal record. Obviously, a first degree is less, misdemeanor is less severe than a fifth degree felony, but it's illegal. So whether she makes them, sells them, gets them dropped off like manna from heaven, what she is doing with the raffle is illegal. So tell me you are on the illegal side of TikTok, and I'll show you where you are. You can say whatever you want. 200 people in here reporting. Girl, you've come to the wrong side of TikTok. So, a first offense could be up to 180 days in jail or 6 months, $1,000 fine, and possible probation and community control instead of jail. And it will be a criminal record, which could affect employment and or licensing in the future. If it goes up to a fifth degree felony, it could be 6 to 12 months locked up. $2,500 in fines. And once it's a felony, it can't be sealed or expunged. It could in fact impact her ability to vote. She can't get a firearm. And again, it may affect professional licensing. Am I bullying or am I stating the facts? There could be other consequences. Property seizure. She could be ordered to pay restitution. for all of the people who she used in this wheel to get $200 for one pair of nails. They're not free. They're not free. You have to pay to get on the wheel. And it's interesting because Noah won a particular pair of nails. And what did Carrie do? Thank you, Miss Muffy. Carrie put them back up for sale. There could be civil penalties. And guess what? You worried about taking my account? Baby girl. Carrie's going to have to run all over this app. No, she's not in the box. She dropped herself. I didn't even get a chance to drop her because she got 200 people in here reporting me. For what? Her face ain't even up here no more. So what? Bullying and harassment? Guess what? It is illegal in the state of Ohio what she is doing. I will post the pages before I take a nap so that if anybody wants to read them, at least Digital is going to jail. Oh, I don't stream anybody. That's not my bag. I know other people do, but I don't. Thank you, Christina, for the confirmation. So if anybody would like to report it to the Attorney General since they want to take my TikTok account, please do. As many of you that can muster up the strength to do so. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So you instead of reporting me, you might want to run and tell her that she's gonna face some consequences. She may need to rethink this whole raffle thing. You could call it a waffle if you like. Oh no, I know I'm not going to jail. Let's see. Let's see if I can see it again. There's the online complaint form. And let's see. This is the template. Make sure you get in there, Ohio Revised Code 2915.092. Because you know. Oh, Guardians of Valor, you are wonderful. Thank you so much. I will be posting this on my page. So don't worry if you don't get it. It'll be there. Again, I'm going to suggest all her little followers that might be in here, make sure you go run and tell her that. And also understand that you might be able to scare other people on this app. You can't scare me. You're a nameless, faceless account on this app. You think you're the first person to come in my box and tell me you're going to take me down? If you do, so what? I have multiple accounts. Yeah, she crying and begging for bail. Go warn her. Make sure you tell her. I love how you gonna get mad at me for telling the truth. Yeah, good luck with that. All right, moving right along. As if she was the only person I was talking about today. Y'all be ready. Y'all be ready and wrong. What do I have to be scared of? A girl in Ohio that doesn't know how to run a business? Please. Doesn't even know she's violating the law? Okay. Oh boy. Here we go. So let's start with Friday's live. I am of the opinion that while she was on that bus, thank you, Granny Annie. That's not an altered photo. That's a photo of a video. I don't use AI in any way, shape, or form. We ride at dawn. We sure do. This is simply a picture from one of her videos. I don't do AI. So, oh, you want my backup account? Hello. Somebody pin that for me, please. I am of the opinion that she was nodding out on that bus on Friday. Thank you, thank you. Make sure you guys are tapping, 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 please. She claimed she was falling asleep. But as more and more people mentioned it, she put sunglasses on. If you were just tired, why did you need to put sunglasses on? So that as more people came in, we couldn't see your eyes? Girl, we've already seen it. We've already watched it. I thought everybody, thank you guys, thank you. You know that safari one gets me because you know that's on my bucket list. I thought we were worried about her safety. But she's just, Texas mama, you still here? Girl, I dealt with your woman. You could go now. Don't block her. Don't block her. You might stick around because you might learn something. Stick around, girl. So, why are we live almost 24, I won't say 24, almost 18 hours a day? Then she tried to do a fake yawn. I was like, girl, stop. I was like, I see you though. You tried it. You tried it. And for people who want to believe you regardless, they were like, see, she's tired. Whatever, man. I was like, so embarrassing. Then, instead of saying tired, she tried to blame it on her maintenance rug. Girl, you've been on that rug a long time. Unless they've changed the dose in the last 2 minutes, you're not tired from that. Try again. He's 20. He just turned 20. And so today we get the story that the DV shelter kicked her out because she was doxxed. And I was like, I need a hotel is coming. And so then she was acting scared and crying and I can't breathe. And then in the very next minute, she was like, hey girl, that is not Jay Leno. That is Christina Nicole. And that is not an exaggerated picture. That's not an AI. That is literally a picture of her from her own video. I was trying to capture the face she uses when she's trying to look sad. So she blamed her cousin for doxing her. I talked to said cousin because I didn't think said cousin doxed her. And what said cousin said was that she did speak to the DV shelter, but she let them know that when she leaves there, she is going to be with the very man she says she's afraid of. Hey, cousin. So if you're going to go be with the very man that you're afraid of, why are you here? This, I'm going to show you her doxing herself, by the way. This is for people who are trying to get away. And if you're going to be with the right man is a loose term, with the boy that you claim is a dependent on your Medicaid form, why are you here? So no, cousin didn't dox her location. Cousin just told the truth. And we know with scammers, they have a loose relationship with the truth. They use the truth when it benefits them, but they operate from the place of a lie. Yes, we love you, cousin. So she came back and she's walking around and she's talking about how hard it is being pregnant. Now, you guys know last week I showed you what happens when you get your tubes tied, and the fact that if you did that and it undid itself, the chances of you getting pregnant were less than 1%. Now, I'm I'm gonna turn off the comments for a second. And I want y'all to take a look at this picture that I was able to take. Any women, it's not a good enough picture, but any women who have been pregnant, I will fix it so that you could actually see the bottom. I ask you if that looks like a pregnant belly to you. But I'll fix it so that you can see the bottom. But she's showing, according, let me see. According to her people, that's her showing. All right. So, of course, we went back to Walmart. And for somebody who didn't have $15 the day before to buy a phone, we spent an awful long time. KK, listen. When you operate from the lie, it is hard to keep up with said lies. She didn't have $15, but we got time to walk around Walmart. 1 second. I have so many notes. I'm looking for one thing in particular. I probably have 5 pages of notes on her alone. Nope, probably more like 6 or 7. I can't wait. Is that it? No. All right. I can't find her at. But one of her favorite people, Lauren, also a mod. I was looking for her mod name. I wrote it down, but I couldn't see it quickly. Gave her enough money so she could get a big tent, a blow-up mattress that could also be a couch and a lounger. She had fans in there. She bought another power bank. She had enough to probably stay in a hotel a couple days. Lauren, Ghost Whisperer, thank you. That's it. That's the mod. Miss Lauren. Lauren, you have unlimited money because I have a cat that could do backflips. We can make a ton. Send me a couple $1,000. I got a bridge for you too. What? Yeah, still ungrateful as hell. Next page. So now she's walking around Walmart with a second phone that she was checking to see if her order was ready. And she called out Jordan because Jordan was supposed to send her $20 and hadn't. Girl, do you do that to put pressure on them? Because in the same breath, it'll be like, I'm so sorry, you're going to get messages. So why'd you put her out there like that? Yeah, she's always waiting for the cops and the cops never come. Then she claimed she was buying cheap products like soap, conditioner, socks. According to you, you haven't taken a shower in days. So what you need that stuff for? Now she has agoraphobia and the medication she's taking is helping. That's why she's able to walk around the store. And I wrote down, I wonder if they realize how much they make me laugh. Because literally rolling out the door, down the stairs, all the way to McDonald's and back. Like, what? And guess what? Jordan came through with that $20. I left and came back and she was still in Walmart. Talking to a worker. And she was buying the things she needs. And what did she say? Thank God for Lauren. Lauren, why are you always funding her life? When she came back later that night, she was setting up the tent that Lauren purchased, of course. And she said that she didn't have anything. And I wrote down such a profound thing to say. But she's 7 weeks pregnant. Hasn't had a doctor's appointment. Hasn't had a scan. But this was 12:30 at night. And there were only a few of us watching. I was window watching. And guess what she was doing? She was vaping on camera. Oh, so that's what we do when we're 7 weeks pregnant. I don't see her do it all day. But at night, we were vaping. And I thought, interesting. So we woke up. And I say we because I was up and she woke up in the tent in the morning. And what she said was she didn't need a hotel. It was okay. And because she only needed it for a week and a half, and she had somewhere to go out of town where she would be safe, she would be taken care of. I was like, okay, sucker, but okay. And she kept talking about how she felt safe where she was, that she was fenced in from almost all sides. Remember that. Okay, this was my notes when I was going off about her saying she got doxxed. And I was writing down that it's your fault for being with your abuser, lying about it, got caught out. You didn't get doxxed. You got the truth smacked you in the back of the head. Not a doxing. But it's always everybody else's fault. Red flag. Red flag on the play. Is everything that goes on in your life somebody else's fault? Red flag on the play. Because why do you keep putting yourself in situations like Mark Russell? He always ends up in a town with no resources. You notice that? He made an appearance this weekend. How do you always end up? He was like, oh, I was here for a job. How are you there for a job when you made a video saying you only had that shirt, that pair of pants because you peed and pooped in all the clothes you had with you? But you was there for a job? Yes, show. Still has people paying for everything. Then she went into a building to charge all of her things. And she said, I know this is going to sound bad, but I don't care about the baby right now. And I was like, you didn't care about it last night either. And when she realized that that didn't sound good, she said it again. But this time it was, I don't care about the baby right now. I got other things that are important and I don't want to think about it because it reminds me of Caden and everything we went through. But I know it sounds bad. I'm going to leave that right there. Oh, that was White Sox turning over. He had to let the world know, I'm turning over to go back to sleep. He can't do that quietly. I, like people said last night, he wants to be a part of everything. Mhm. And where was she after that? Back at Walmart. And I wrote down, what does she want this time? I actually counted how many items she scanned, but I think it was all food because she was like, food stamps for the win or whatever. Let's keep going. Oh, this is where I wrote it down. She went live. This had to be Saturday. And she had Lauren, which was Ghost Whisperer, and Madden Ann in the box. Those are her funders, her supporters, the people who block you as soon as you walk in the door. So now we are at, oh no, Sunday. Sorry. She said she had a good night, but that she woke up with a headache. And then I caught this photo. You're not going to be able to see everything, but I'm going to describe it anyway. Let me find it. Wait. No. Dang, what did I do with the photo? Nope. That's not it. Dang, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I cannot find the particular photo. I might have even deleted it, to be honest. I have so many freaking photos in here. But the photo that I caught, really? Wow, guys. Wow. Y'all are killing it with the likes. That's why we can't have nice things. Facts. Facts. So the photo that I caught, where she said she felt relatively safe, she's surrounded by a wooden fence. A very tall wooden fence. And I thought, that's very nice for the city to do. Because she's supposed to be in a random spot that nobody that knows her knows where she is except good old faithful Lauren. I was like, wow, a privacy fence in a random area. All right, cool. But at some point, like, she left and came back because she went somewhere to charge her phones. And I swear to you, it looked like the side of a house. Like, you know how people now have like an electric port outside for certain, like, TVs and other things. A lot of people are doing that now. My father used to have it for bush cutters and you name it. And she's standing there charging her phone. It could have been a city building or something else. But she was there charging and she said, I'm gonna go back. And when she went back, I noticed she wasn't on the ground. She was sitting on the tent is on wooden decking. And I thought, what city complex or city owned property has a deck wall and deck flooring for her to put a tent and be safe? Lauren bought her the tent. Not on top of a building. She's on the floor. Why would deck flooring be on top of a building? Who puts a wooden privacy wall on top of a building? Well, I'm gonna leave it there. Sunshine Doxy. So, very interesting. Very random spot in the city, all alone. By the way, when she went back one night, she doxed herself. If you know, you see that right there? Somebody who knows the city, that knows that she's able to get around to the library, to the businesses that she charges in, etc., 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 knows exactly where that is. Nobody has to follow you, girl. You dox yourself all the time. Somebody just has to wait for you. I'm lagging. Okay.
A phone is connected and charging.
Yep. Okay, let's try this for a little while. If not, please tap, 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 because I'm sure she's awake. It's already 10 o'clock. And I'm sure she has a bunch of people in here trying to report. But let's try that for now. She reported that she thought that Kaden was going to a mental hospital. But didn't she say that same exact thing while she was in the hotel before, after they were supposed to already be gone? And then she says, all I need, and it was a huge pregnant pause, pun intended. All I need is somewhere to go. I can't tell you the last time I've taken a shower. Yeah, I'm staying in a tent. The hotel in Peoria is like $69 a night and doesn't need a deposit. I only have $6 in my account. Then she said, I'm not asking anyone for anything. I'm just saying. I'm having to hold into my pee because it's raining out. and there's no way for me to get there. And I believe it was the train station or bus station and back. And then she starts telling her story, but only from about a week ago. Girl, your story is longer than a week ago. But a week ago fits, because then you can talk about your relationship, living in a tent, no family, no income. Then she said, now remember, the other day she said she could call McDonald's and go back to work. She says, I lost my job at McDonald's due to my DV relationship. I have nothing. I'm being stalked. I was at a DV shelter and got doxxed. I have nowhere to go. Then she took a hit from her vape and cried. And my question is, I thought you told everybody when you were in the tent that you only needed to be there a week and a half because you had somewhere to go. Now you don't have nowhere to go? She said, I go live to share and get help. Girl, you go live to get help. You're not there to share. You don't care what people know or what they don't know as long as you get money. You do less than a bare minimum to improve your situation. But that's not what TikTok was built for. A lot of them will say, that's what TikTok is for. No, it's not. No, she's not leaving, Kaden. Be for real. Now we're worried about the baby. An amazing switch in 18 hours. Yesterday, we don't care about the baby right now. We have more pressing things. And now we care about the baby. We're worried about the baby. But you're not going to the doctor. At this point, she says she's not eating. You're not even taking prenatal medications. You're vaping. You're staying out in the heat. You're walking around because you're waiting on suckers to pay your way. Correct. And on Friday, and I may do a snippet where I explain how a tubal ligation takes place and how it's less than 1% of women who it undoes itself and they're able to get pregnant. And most of them, when they do get pregnant, it ends up being an ectopic pregnancy because it stops in the fallopian tube and never ends up in the uterus. Yeah, Schindler, she is. Her people is in here watching. That's who's reporting. Is this how you intend to raise the baby? I think she gets more upset at being called a scammer than being in her DV situation. Why? Because she said she's never leaving. But don't call her a scammer. Don't do that. I don't understand people's fascination with her. I really don't. But then somebody did something to her that I'm sure a lot of people found funny. I don't. Somebody came in and said that they wanted to go half and half with somebody on a hotel room. And she got excited, boy. And it was all a joke. I don't like that. I don't like that because, for what? To laugh at her? I don't find it funny. I mean, okay, let me stop lying. In the moment, it's funny for a second. And then I think, why would you do that? Like, what did you gain? Why get her excited about something and then make sure she knows that it was fake? It was intended to hurt her feelings. And the reason, one of the major reasons why I don't like it is because then it makes everybody else in the audience have empathy and sympathy. Think, listen, the decking that she's staying on really makes me question where she is. And if she's not walking inside every night and coming out every morning. But we'll see. Time will tell. I don't have to decide. I just have to sit and watch. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you for everybody that was willing and could stay. I appreciate you. Remember, we have a task to do, and that's to get that illegal wheel raffle taken down. Please hug your loved ones, because tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. Remember that somebody didn't wake up today, and their loved ones are having one of the worst days of their life. Oh, I'm sure she's live. She goes live from sunup to way past almost the next morning. This is your morning podcast. Well, I appreciate you guys, and I hope I bring a little light to your day. I know that some of the subjects we talk about are heavy and disturbing, but as a community, all of us sent one message to one person a day to stop them from giving their money and getting scammed. Imagine the effect, the amount of change, the amount of people we help. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all. You are my inspiration for getting up and doing this every day, for watching, even when sometimes I want to throw the phone off the balcony. I don't. Thank you for spending this time with me. Please remember to do self-care. If you can't do it based on how anybody else does it, do it the way it works for you. But take some time for yourself every day, if it's only a minute. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. If I don't see you in the streets, I will see you Wednesday morning. Have a fantastic day. Oh, almost a million likes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for liking so I didn't get taken down. I wonder where her 200 people went. Anyway, I'll see you Wednesday morning, Mama. Texas Mama. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at around 6:30 a.m. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'm out.